Good afternoon. My name is Lauren Lavin. I am one of the sales associates at Epion Health, and today we are going to walk through the patient check-in experience utilizing Epion's digital check-in solution. I am going to flip between two screens, one being Athena, so you can see the back-end workflow of Epion and Athena, and the second is the iPad view. This is a mirrored view of the iPad that I have in front of me. So really what the patient's view would be as they are checking in. So to set up this scenario, the patient walks in, they walk up to the front desk and alert your front desk staff that they are here for their appointment today. So at that point, the front desk will hit start check-in in Athena, and this is what activates the iPad. So the front desk will then hand the iPad to the patient, and the patient can either check in as themselves, or if it's a minor or someone in with a caregiver, they could check in on behalf of the patient, and it just changes the wording a little bit. So the patient will then enter in his or her birth date, and this is what identifies this particular patient and what interview they should be receiving for their check-in today. So at this point, the patient is still standing at the front desk, and typically the two pieces that require a conversation at the front desk, or typically require a conversation at the front desk, are around insurance and payment. So this is why these two pieces are at the beginning while your patient is still standing at the front desk. So they will look to see the insurance that you currently have on file for them in Athena, and then what their patient pay responsibility is. So if there's a copay of $20, that will be visible to the patient, and any unpaid charges. So if I click view details, I'm able to see where this outstanding balance is coming from. So at this point, the front desk staff will take the payment from the patient and get that payment before the patient is there to see the provider. So at this point, the patient will hit next, and they'll take the iPad and they will go sit down. So your front desk staff is now freed up to check in the next patient or do another task. If you don't currently have a photo on file in Athena of your patient, you can have your patient take a selfie. So we'll just hit add photo. Hello. Take a photo. Boy, that's a good one. And then hit next. So this is a good point to hop back over into Athena and refresh this patient. So you'll see that image now updated back into Athena. So patients will now review their demographics. So if, a lot of times we hear at the front desk the question of, has anything changed? And the patient typically says no, but in reality, they don't know what is even on file for them. So this gives visibility as to what the practice has on file, and then also prompts the patient to make any changes and to keep it updated. So we'll also ask a patient for their email address, and this will automatically send an email to invite the patient to enroll in the portal. They can also opt in to receive text messages from you and answer some of those demographic questions that are often uncomfortable to ask at the front, race, ethnicity. This is now all being answered privately on the iPad. Additional questions, these are custom questions that your front desk staff can ask. Both the questions and the responses go back into your AthenaNet. If it's time for your patient to review and sign your patient agreement, they will pull up your patient agreement on the iPad and also HIPAA. So they will review both of those and agree. They can also disclose portions or their complete medical record to a caregiver or a family member. They can indicate who that person is and what the relationship is, and of course, what portion of the records that person can have access to. And when we're ready for signature, I'm just going to sign directly on the iPad using my finger. Pain assessment. So this can be configured by provider if you have pain doc or orthopedic group that certain providers want it turned on. We can do that, and the patient can indicate directly on the pain diagram where they're experiencing pain. Now, these clinical questions are all driven from your portal forms. So the patient will review, if it's a returning patient, the information that you currently have on file for them in Athena. So if there's any changes, they can make those changes directly on the iPad. And you will tell us what patient should get what question and at what time. So we will set up business rules that run in the background to ensure that the right patient's getting the right question. So many practices want patients to review medications and allergies every visit, but not give a complete medical history unless it's been over a year. So again, we'll work with you on how you want those business rules to run in the background, and we make sure that it's a relevant and appropriate interview for each patient. It's also predictive texting. So when a patient is entering in a medication or a medication allergy, they just need to type in a few letters and it will prompt a few options for you. Medication, this is pulled from SureScript, so the patient can indicate if they are no longer taking a certain medication. And make the changes directly on the iPads, review surgical histories. If there's anything to add directly from the iPad as well. We also have billable screeners that are available to be completed on the iPad, the PHQ-2, the PHQ-9. Depending on how I am responding to the PHQ-2, it may trigger the PHQ-9, which is the full depression screener. So the patient can go through and complete the PHQ-9. I'll show you where this lands in Athena. It's a seamless process to get it from the screeners out to billing. We also have the postnatal depression screener. So again, these are all configured based on your business rules. So we're only asking the right question, or the right patient to complete these screeners. And at the end, there's a quick 2-question survey. How satisfied or dissatisfied were you with digital check-in? And the last page is completely customizable. So this is up to you what you would like to see on here. We can do a, a bio of the provider. If there's just something you want to remind your patients of, a reminder to get a flu shot, we can do that as well. So at this point, the patient is done with check-in. And we will come back over into Athena. So I'm just going to refresh this patient here. You'll see that I am now ready for the provider. So I'm going to come over into intake and start the intake process. So any changes that the patient made directly on the iPad will go through the data reconciliation in Athena. So this is the same process that your MA or your staff is, nursing staff is doing if a patient completed information on the portal. So it draws my attention to the areas where change has been made. So under allergies and reaction, I see that the patient added a penicillin allergy. So it's a quick discussion with the patient, a confirm, and now that's updated into your health history. There were 3 changes made to medications, so I will review that with the patient. It's a quick confirmation, and now medications is updated. Same thing with past medical history. And once all of that data has been reconciled, it is now updated into your health history chart. looking at the consent forms, HIPAA, and your practice agreement are now updated into Athena with the signature. And it's not anything that your front desk staff had to scan or fax into Athena. And here is our HIPAA with our signature. Now the screeners that we completed, we did both the PHQ-2 and also the PHQ-9 and the postnatal depression screener. So these are available in the screening section of Athena. My responses are automatically selected for me and scored. So we'll help you with the mapping so that this score can be loaded into billing and ready for the provider to review, and then it's ready to go. And that is the check-in process. So I thank you for your time today. And if there are any questions about Epion or digital check-in, I am more than happy to answer those for you at any time. Thank you so much.